Oh gosh, it feels good to be in this space again.
It does. This is such a nice space to be in.
It is. What are you drinking today? What's our
Oh, I'm drinking, um, what is it called? Throat Coat by Traditional Medicinals. I think that's what their name is.
Oh, I get the yogi. I think it's the
Oh,
yogi throat coat.
yeah. I like yogi too.
Yeah.
This has been nice though, except I let it steep a little bit too long and the licorice is like a little bit
Yeah.
sweet, but it's throat in my coat. No, it's coat in my throat.
Oh,
What are you drinking?
I have like the last couple sips of my coffee.
Oh, yum. Oh, I love that mug.
It's thanks. It's for everyone I can see it, at least on YouTube. It is the Tree of Life, I think, from Disney parks. One of the souvenirs from my husband and my belated honeymoon because he was deployed when we actually had our like a chance to get our honeymoon in. So
Oh
we
my
got married
God.
and he shipped out. So yeah, no, this is one of the my favorite, I think, things that we brought home.
That's so cool.
So yeah. But yeah, just coffee. I got my home brew with lots of milk and always a little like pumpkin spice.
Oh, yum.
And yeah.
Love that.
After this, I'm probably gonna switch to I've got a green tea in the fridge and I've got a kombucha in the fridge. So
Ooh. And we're back.
my bad. Had to take a call. Um,
And
but we
Sweet
were just talking about
Ghost.
our beverages, I think, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yes. Ghost, the wonder dog,
it's so sweet.
demanding his scritchies. So
They're very important.
I'm like, I'll be here for a while.
I just love his paw coming out. He's like, Mom, Mom.
It's your sign to not stop. Ay, ay.
So, how was your week this week? Did you?
Um, it's busy.
Yeah.
Had to break because I was getting updates on all of the moving
Mhm.
things happening. We're moving on moving is what's going on this week. So we got final walkthroughs coming up. We've got closing, closing coming up, and then
Awesome.
yeah. So we're doing it all.
Ooh,
How's your week going?
it's good. I finished my line edit, so that's like a huge relief. And now I'm not going to touch it, even though I told myself I wasn't going to touch it. And then I restructured my entire first page. So,
As we do.
yes. Yeah, I'm now not going to touch it officially. But I realized that I need to create a book blurb. I don't know how to start doing that. So I have,
Arguably one of the hardest things to do, right? Like
there's so much pressure.
writing the book is one thing, but then like doing a blurb or even like a
Yes.
summary. If you're querying, it just, yeah, the blurb is like, what did I write? What is this book about? Because I don't
Seriously.
even know anymore.
Like, how do I condense this but not give anything away, but also get people hooked
Yeah.
and not reveal all of my secrets?
How do I take my like 100,000 word manuscript and like boil it down to 250 words, maybe?
Yeah, right, exactly. And then like convince people to read it because
Mhm.
that's, I mean, this is what I do. I look at the cover, I flip it over, I read the blurb. Do I want to read it? Maybe if I am more interested, I'll read the first page and then back on the shelf it goes. So, yeah, there's a lot of pressure in that. And I have 2 weeks to do it because I need it done for July.
Nice. For your editor next step
Uh,
or
for book cover uh, design. Yeah. So like I don't need it. I'm sure there's like a little flexibility with like I could probably get it to him like mid-July and that would be okay, but I want to have it done, completed so I don't have to think about it or stress or get to that point where he's like, "Hey, I need this." And I'm like, "That would be great to have, wouldn't it?"
yeah, no, that makes so much sense for the back, yeah, back cover designs and oh, the themes like I've got I've got ideas of how that could look, and I think it's going to be deliciously dark and tempting and all of
I
the
hope it is. That's what I'm trying for. So we'll see if I can if I can or not.
yeah.
But yeah, I have a very rough outline sketched out for it, which is good that there's like some sort of foundation,
Mhm.
but I'm second guessing myself on it because I've also used it in some social media posts. So I'm not really sure, like, is that too media? Is it not like book cover level? So I'm gonna do some thinking on that. That's my plan for the unforeseeable future.
Little pressure on that cover design too, right? Like, because first impression every
Right.
time is what it looks like.
Right.
So yeah, I've struggled with that myself, like even just not knowing which direction I'm going, trad, indie, whatever. Like I like just thinking about what would be on my cover, so many different ideas. Like you could be more abstract, you can be like a specific scene, like characters, no characters, like what do you
Right.
do and
Right.
what feels right? And I think some authors have like a really specific idea in mind and vision.
Mhm.
And there's folks like me that I'm just like, I don't know yet. It's like character art. Like sometimes I don't know what the character actually looks like until I see drafts from an artist. Like that's why I'm so addicted to commissioning character art, um,
Well, it makes
because
them real.
it makes them real. And then yeah, same thing with the cover. It makes the book real.
Mhm.
And suddenly
I
you
know.
not just have words and scenes in your head, but you have like the face of it. Oh,
Right. Exactly. Oh, I can't wait
gosh.
to have its face. It'll it'll feel so much more legitimate once there's a cover to the words, I think. That definitely happened when I wrote Aldebaran.
Mhm.
It was just like a whole bunch of poems, and then all of a sudden it had a cover. It was like, oh, this is a book. Like
Yeah.
that was that turning point. It clicked. It's like, oh, it's a real book now.
And your name is on that cover too. And I
And
feel like
my
that's
name is
just
on
like
it.
a
Yeah.
like that just yeah, it feels something big in here, but also that just humbleness and yeah, there's a moment
Completely,
for sure.
completely. Yeah, thankfully, I'm working with a really awesome artist who is taking all my ideas. And I did actually make like a very bad mock-up of like, hey, this is something that I was leaning towards. And I actually went to my local Barnes and Noble and asked the booksellers behind the counter, like, hey, I'm writing a book in this genre. What are you seeing a lot of? And then I workshopped with them. I was like, hey, this
Mm.
is kind of my idea. What do you think? Do you think that that's different than what you're seeing? And thankfully, they were like, oh my gosh, yeah, that would be so cool because we're not seeing anything like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's what a
Okay,
brilliant
cool.
idea. What a brilliant idea. Yeah, go to
It,
your
yeah, go to your local bookstore. It doesn't have to be Barnes and Noble, but that was that they opened one up in my town. Then that's the closest bookstore to me. So I hightailed it over there, and yeah, it was definitely it brought down a lot of anxiety because they also told me what not to do too. They were like, stop putting scrolls on things, stop putting a sword on things,
yeah.
stop putting flowers all over because so many books have that right now. So your book might get lost.
Mhm.
So I really appreciated their input because they're seeing books every day, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm seeing what's on my Instagram feed and maybe browsing on Kindle or something, but I'm not actually physically there seeing, opening up the boxes of new books and looking through all of the covers. So I really
Yeah.
appreciated their input.
Yeah, there's that fine line of like the industry seeing what is successful in generating sales,
Mhm.
and then the readers that are saying, I'm kind of getting tired of seeing the same thing or reading the same thing or whatever. And
Right.
so I kind of wonder what like where that in-betweenness is, because
Exactly,
you're hearing
exactly.
you want something new and fresh, but you're seeing the sales reflect differently.
Right. And that was like no shade towards anybody who has
Of course.
those
Yeah.
like objects on their books, of course. But I just thought that was interesting, like what they were recommending. But
Yeah.
yeah.
gives me an idea.
Mhm.
You saw something recently about Barnes and Noble
I
and some of
did.
their activity, and I think there's
Yes.
some good discussion behind that. You want to introduce us?
Yeah, I would love to. So I got an email that is like discover like the what was it? Oh yeah, Barnes and Noble discover debut authors. And I was like, oh, that would be really cool, maybe for next year, because that's when I'm planning on publishing. It's like, how do I get on this list? So I looked it up, and you have to be traditionally published, and your publisher needs to send it to the Barnes and Noble Discover team, which was kind of frustrating because if you're a self-published debut author, then you're completely excluded from that list. You cannot get on it at all. And that was just a little disheartening, especially
Yeah.
with the new news about them being open to promoting and selling books written by AI. I know they said if the readers want it, then they'll bring it in, but if the readers want self-published books and if there's a desire for that, then why not allow self-published authors to put their book out there as well and be able to be on this Discover list? Because of course it gets blasted out to anyone who's on Barnes and Noble's reading list or email list. So that
Yeah.
would be an incredible opportunity for any author.
Yeah. And I'm sure they could structure it right, whether it's an application process or
Right.
something, a geographic locale, maybe. But I I'm a pretty strong advocate for like if you're going to start creating spaces for specific groups of authors, right? Including AI now,
Mhm.
you need to be inclusive of all of them, including self-published authors, right? Like,
Right.
and again, there could be sideboards, there could be a system of how to include, because I'm sure that would generate thousands and thousands of interest,
Oh,
people's interests.
I'm sure.
But there's a way to be able to, I think, do that effectively. And so, yeah, it's hard enough to get a book out in the world, but seeing the ways in which there's, priorities or exclusions or limitations in getting that visibility is just such added hardship to something that's already incredibly difficult. So
I agree.
yeah, I wonder if
As
there's enough interest and demand, like right, if they're saying if there's a demand for AI, then we'll present AI. Maybe we do the same with self-published authors. Like if folks are demanding we
right.
want indie authors on your shelves, could
Mhm.
we could we rock the boat that way too?
Well, I think that's a really important factor to consider too, like when you have your favorite indie author and they publish their book and you want to see it on the shelf, like go into Barnes and Noble, request that book. Uh, any like just keep asking them until you see it on their shelves because that's the only way for us to get that recognition.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I guess, yeah, maybe to clarify too, it's like that's always going to be an option, right? Like request it at libraries, request it at bookstores, those self-published titles. But I want to see like a table of like indie authors,
Yes.
right? Like
Oh,
I want to see like a whole table just for
yeah.
that. They're going to have a whole shelf just for AI. I want to see a table or a shelf just for indie authors.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes, 1,000%. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna bring that to my local Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
I recommend it. Well, because they've been really great with being within the community, within like the local author community. Like when I was there talking to them about book covers, they were just so excited. They were like, "Oh my gosh, you live in town. You have to let us know when your book is published and you can do a signing here and everything." And I was just like, "Oh my goodness, thank you guys."
Yeah.
But that's the thing is like unless you promote it and unless you have other means of getting yourself out there, then they're not going to have any idea of who you are, which is just the one of the hurdles with self-publishing rather than traditional publishing. But I guess traditional publishing has its own hurdles in that sense too, because it's not just,
Sure.
on your team to
Yeah.
make it. I've heard that a lot of times nowadays with traditional publishing, like it's expected of you to do the majority of the marketing. I'm not sure how accurate that is with every single publishing house, obviously, but I thought that was interesting, a shift.
Something that you said that kind of gave me another idea. It's maybe kind of taking us back a step, but I think what you're doing, the way that you're engaging with your local bookstore is also a really smart strategy to like become recognizable and get yourself some more exposure and visibility and create those relationships with the stores. Because I went into a couple just to kind of test the waters. I wanted to see if stores around me were, you know, what their capacity was for different author events.
Mhm.
And it was only two, but each time the assumption was that I was coming in immediately seeking consignment options to sell my book there. And I was like, I just, I wanted to just start a conversation, but instead I pretty much got handed a sheet of paper that said, here's how you apply. And so I liked the idea of having a different question, I guess, that introduces you as a local author, but then also is like, how can we help each other? Or how, it's more of a collaborative effort, I guess, where
Yeah.
what do you want to see more of in on your shelves, in your store? And then what can I be considering as an author for how to design my book cover? So I want to call that out because I feel like that's a really smart way to just approach, again, like making those relationships and starting that connection off in a way that's not so direct of like, how do I get my book in your store? It's like, no, no, no. Like
Right.
let's start and like back up a little bit.
A little
Um,
hot, yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
And they were incredibly open to like workshopping with me. Like thankfully it was a slow it was like a slow Saturday period. I hit them like perfectly.
yeah,
But there was actually so one girl was like behind the desk and then another came over because she heard our conversation and she was
yeah.
just like, whoa, okay, this is cool. And I was like, I was really nervous and I didn't even think I was going to ask because I was just kind of lurking and like taking pictures of books. I felt like such a creep. I
That's me every time I record my reviewing critters on books. I'm like,
was thinking of you while I was doing it. I was like, channel Mina, channel Mina.
oh,
But no, I appreciate that because in the moment it just felt like so terrifying, but also natural. And I think that's the best way to go about it is just like, okay, be as natural as possible. I'm not trying to sell something, not
right.
yet, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I was met with a lot of open arms, so that was really cool. But that's a really I don't like that you were just handed a piece of paper.
It yeah, it was very abrupt and I can kind of understand it, but it also just felt very, and they were indie bookstores too. They were not
Oh,
like commercial big chains. They were local to here and yeah, it just kind of stifled the opportunity for conversation,
right,
which was
right.
unsettling and definitely threw me for a loop. Like I didn't know kind of where to go next,
Mhm. Well,
besides
right, because
trying
where
to
does
clarify the
that
question.
yeah, where does that conversation go? Just
Right.
okay, thank you. It's very transactional rather than conversational.
Yeah. So I can always go back. It's been a while since I've interacted with the booksellers there, so it could just be I need a different approach, and I'll try what you did and see if that just opens up the conversation a bit more and becoming more of a regular, you know,
Try it. And
just
maybe it
yeah,
was just a bad day for them too.
could be, could be, you don't know.
But
Um,
I had a question for you.
question for me.
Yes, you posed something last time we chatted, and I was wondering if you could expand more on this. You said, what came first, the writer or the reader? And
Mhm.
I would love some expansion on that because that is the age-old question, isn't
It is today.
it?
So I might have like a twist for an answer on this.
Ooh, I'm here for it.
I I think it maybe is an unfair question, I'll admit, because many of us I'll assume all of us are raised being read stories as kids, right? Like, I read to my kids and all that. And technically, I guess that makes most of us readers beforehand. But my twist on this is I think I was raised in storytelling first, because before I became like an avid reader, my parents had stories that they would tell us. And my mom especially is very much like an oral storyteller, and always has like different family stories and histories. And my the inside joke is like, just we keep learning about these different family members that just seem to like manifest out of these different tales. And I think over my lifetime, and certainly growing up, that storytelling was kind of more of my origin story than just writing or just reading. Because I know I delved into those practices as I got older, but like the sitting down, on the bed and telling us stories before we went to sleep, like that, it wasn't just reading, right? It wasn't just opening a book and saying what's on the page. It was this theater of mind, this family history, these different things that my parents had come up with that I think really helped me become a storyteller.
Oh, I love that. Because that's like one of our oldest, as humans, that's one of
Mhm.
our oldest pastimes, right? Is telling stories and it creating explanations for who we are and how we got here. So that's wow. Okay. I love this. I love this twist. I love this
Yeah.
twist so much.
Yeah. So I could say probably I was a reader, before I became a true writer, but before then, I think there was a storytelling aspect to that.
Oh, yes. I relate to this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. So my dad would read bedtime stories to us as kids. And I had to be really young because it was when like my brother and I shared a bedroom still.
Mhm.
And he would read Greek myth to us, which was like literally like ancient stories. And I just always remember thinking I remember hearing the story of Icarus
Mhm.
and just being like, but how could he, like how could he do that? Why would he fly so close to the sun? Um, and it just you get captured in that awe and that love of continuing the story.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally, totally relate. My dad, we didn't start talking about like family history until later, but I can definitely relate to the creation of the story rather than just being read like a book at bedtime.
Right.
Yeah, wow. Okay. That's not where I was expecting this twist to go, and I'm really glad it didn't go that
I
way.
don't think I did either, but yeah, I was kind of pondering it and like thinking, yeah, again, like thinking about what happens in our own home. And like I tell stories to my kids about like Mama and the wolf and Mama and the bear and like all these like adventure
Oh,
stories from my time in the field.
wait, you have so many, like that's oh okay, I'm fangirling over that right now. I need I need an anthology.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'll add it to the list of just things to write. Um, but in doing that, it kind of helped me realize like, oh, this is totally passed on. Like my parents were telling my sister and I stories growing up, and like maybe they weren't, I don't know, maybe some of them are derived from their own experiences, but um yeah, they were always very creative. My dad has actually printed out, like he wrote his down and printed them out and
Oh,
bound them so that I could read them to my kids.
incredible. Oh,
Um,
what a gift.
my my fatal flaw is that I've got the memory of like a goldfish, and often it's like the cracker, not the animal. It's like it
Oh
just
no.
so like I couldn't repeat some of these stories that I was raised on, but I'm glad I have them now. That's just the kind of the beauty like of it coming full circle. And now I can read those to my kids the way that they were recited to me and my sister. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow. That's
kind
so
of
special to have that all written down too.
yeah,
What a good idea.
yeah. It's it's in our blood, I guess. I've got all
Literally.
writers in my family, like amongst other things. So
Oh, That's incredible.
It's
Wow.
pretty
All
cool.
right. I'm I'm really loving where that went. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder
Um,
who else can relate.
I was gonna say, I kind of want to know for anyone
Yeah.
listening,
Okay.
like,
I want to
tell
hear your
us.
stories.
Yeah, tell us, were you a writer or reader first, or were you dabbling in the storytelling origin as well? Um, yeah, I think it's a really special, like you said, like something that we've always done as a species, um, in a way that we really can let our legacy live on. I think about that once in a while, in the context of writing a book and leaving something behind, and like your legacy will really be
It's written,
captured, whether in print or ebook or even audiobook. There's so many
right?
different ways that
Or whatever new
we will
medium
live on.
is going to be created in the future.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's so true. And I think that is that is one thing that I absolutely love about writing in general. It's just that continuation of the stories and why I
Mhm.
try to cram as much little like nuggets of our ancient stories into my writing to try to preserve them.
The
And
mythology queen.
ah,
I love that because there were so many of them were just cautionary tales, right? I mean,
oh
it's
yeah,
not just
right.
telling story for entertainment, but there are these lessons embedded in those.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that's what I think we need more of again, because they were distorted and taken apart and made into these fantastical princess stories. Okay, I won't get it. I I'll stop myself from
next
going
episode,
on a whole
Karin goes off on fairy tale.
rampage. Okay,
Oh,
I'm composed. No.
well, we mentioned it a second ago, and I guess that would have been a better transition, but we do want to hear from anyone who's listening. And we have a couple different ways that I think we're hoping to hear from you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have topics that you want to see us cover, if you've got questions, if you want to learn more about us, we want to hear from you. So uh, regardless of how you're listening, drop a comment if you can. We also have, if you want to leave like an anonymous question or curiosity, we have an email we'll put in the caption,
Yes.
perhaps.
It'll
Okay.
be down in the notes below.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
send us
feel
an
free to
email.
reach out to us. We are ready to hear from you.
Yes. Yes, would love to. And don't be
Um,
scared, we're very nice.
yeah.
If we can do it, you can too. Remember that.
That's right.
We
That's right.
started from a blank page and have gotten to where we are right now just by doing it. I don't know where the sentence is going. Send us your comments and questions.